Hey everyone, so picture this. You're at a bar, scanning the beer menu, and there it is. A Belgian beer priced at $15 for a single bottle. Your first thought? Are they insane? But here's the thing. By the end of this video, you'll understand why that bottle might actually be worth every penny. I'm talking about Belgian beer. And today we're diving deep into why this tiny European country of just 11 million people produces some of the most coveted liquid gold on the planet. We're talking about a brewing tradition so special that UNESCO literally declared it a cultural heritage of humanity in 2016. Let me blow your mind with something that sounds like science fiction, but is absolutely real. In Belgium, there's a beer called Lambic that's literally fermented by wild bacteria floating in the air. Here's how insane this process is. Belgian brewers use a mix of 60-70% barley malt and 30% to 40% unmalted wheat. Then expose the wort overnight in shallow copper pans called cool ships, where more than 120 different microorganisms from the surrounding air naturally inoculate the beer. Think about that for a second. They're essentially letting Mother Nature brew their beer. The fermentation is a months-long journey, where different groups of yeast and bacteria take turns, with acetic, acid-producing strains dominating the first 7 days. Then Saccharomyces yeast taking over at 1 to 2 weeks. This isn't just some hipster trend. This brewing method has remained virtually unchanged for over 400 years, and it only works in a specific microclimate around Brussels. You literally cannot replicate true Lambic beer anywhere else in the world, because the wild yeast strains are unique to that region. Now, let's talk about another Belgian beer legend, Trappist ales. Here's what makes these beers absolutely extraordinary. They can only be brewed within the walls of Trappist monasteries, supervised by the monks themselves. There are only 14 official Trappist breweries in the entire world, and 6 of them are in Belgium. These aren't just marketing gimmicks. We're talking about centuries-old recipes passed down through generations of monks who've dedicated their lives to perfecting their craft. The most famous, Westvleteren 12, is often called the best beer in the world, and is so exclusive that you have to call a special phone number, register your car license plate, and drive to the monastery to buy it. No joke. They literally limit purchases to prevent commercial reselling. Here's where things get really interesting from a business perspective. The global Belgian beer market was valued at $12 billion in 2024 and is projected to reach $18 billion by 2033. That's a compound annual growth rate of 5.2%. But here's the crazy part. Belgians themselves consume an average of 31.46 liters per person annually. Yet the real magic happens in exports. Belgian beer has become so synonymous with quality that restaurants worldwide charge premium prices just to have Stella Artois, Duvel, or Chimay on their menu. To put this in perspective, Belgium produces over 1,500 different beers from about 180 breweries. That's more beer variety per square mile than anywhere else on Earth. And we're not talking about slight variations. We're talking about completely distinct flavor, profiles that would make a wine sommelier jealous. So what actually makes Belgian beer taste different? It comes down to 3 game-changing factors. First, Belgian brewers use unique yeast strains that have been cultivated for centuries. These yeasts produce complex esters and phenols that create flavors you simply won't find in other beers. Think banana, clove, pepper, and even bubblegum notes. Second, they're not afraid of unconventional ingredients. While German beer purity laws restrict ingredients to just water, hops, malt, and yeast, Belgian brewers throw in everything from orange, peel and coriander to cherries and even chocolate. This isn't random experimentation. It's centuries of refined tradition. Third, and this is crucial, Belgian brewers prioritize complexity over consistency. While most commercial breweries aim for the exact same taste every single time, Belgian brewers embrace subtle variations that come from traditional methods and natural fermentation. Let's be honest. How does Belgian beer stack up against other world-class brewing nations? Germany gives you precision and purity, following the Reinheitsgebot law religiously. England offers rich, malty ales with historical depth. America brings innovation and hop-forward IPAs. But Belgium gives you artistic expression in liquid form. The difference is philosophical. German brewers are master engineers, creating perfectly consistent products. American craft brewers are bold innovators, pushing boundaries with extreme flavors. Belgian brewers are artists, treating each batch like a unique creation. This approach has created a cult following among beer enthusiasts worldwide. When someone says they're into beer, Belgian styles are often their gateway into true beer appreciation. It's the difference between drinking beer and experiencing beer. Now, let's talk about something that'll change your next dinner party: Belgian beer and food pairing. This isn't just about grabbing some chips and calling it a day. Belgian wit beer pairs incredibly with seafood, especially mussels, which is traditional in Belgium. The citrus notes complement the brine perfectly. Double and triple ales are magical with rich, creamy cheeses. Try a Chimay Blue with aged Gouda. The caramel notes in the beer enhance the cheese's nuttiness. Lambic beers, especially fruit varieties, work beautifully with desserts. A Cherry Creek with dark chocolate is basically heaven in your mouth. But here's a pro tip most people don't know. Belgian beer actually aids digestion when paired correctly with heavy foods. The natural carbonation and complex yeast profile help break down rich, fatty dishes, which is why Belgians traditionally drink beer with their famously indulgent cuisine. The health angle, yes? Really? Before you think I'm promoting excessive drinking, let me share some fascinating research. Studies have shown that moderate consumption of Belgian-style ales, particularly those with live yeast, can provide probiotics similar to what you'd find in yogurt. The complex fermentation process in Belgian beers creates B vitamins, particularly B12, which is often deficient in modern diets. Obviously, moderation is key here. We're talking about one quality beer with a meal, not a six-pack on the couch. Some researchers have even studied the antioxidant properties of darker Belgian ales, finding levels comparable to red wine. The key word here is quality. These benefits come from traditional brewing methods and natural ingredients, not mass-produced light beers. The future of Belgian beer. Here's what's interesting about where Belgian beer is heading. Despite domestic consumption declining by nearly 20% over a 10-year period, international demand continues to surge. This creates an interesting dynamic. Belgian brewers are becoming more focused on export markets, which actually drives up quality even further as they compete on the global stage. We're also seeing a new generation of Belgian brewers who are respecting traditional methods while experimenting with modern techniques. They're not abandoning the old ways, they're building on them. The craft beer revolution worldwide has actually benefited Belgian brewers tremendously. As consumers become more educated about beer quality, they naturally gravitate toward Belgian styles that showcase complexity and craftsmanship. Why you should care? Look, I get it. Beer is beer, right? Wrong. Belgian beer represents something bigger than just alcohol. It's about preserving traditional craftsmanship in an increasingly industrialized world. When you buy a bottle of Belgian beer, you're supporting small-scale production methods that have remained virtually unchanged for centuries. You're experiencing flavors that literally cannot be replicated by industrial brewing processes. And honestly, life's too short for boring beer. If you're going to drink, why not drink something that tells a story, that connects you to centuries of tradition, that was crafted by people who genuinely care about their product? Belgian beer isn't just about alcohol. It's about artistry, tradition, and a level of craftsmanship that borders on obsession. From wild fermentation that relies on airborne bacteria to monks who've dedicated their lives to perfecting their recipes, Belgian beer represents the pinnacle of brewing as an art form. With the market projected to reach nearly $19 billion by 2033, it's clear that the world is waking up to what beer enthusiasts have known for decades. Belgian beer isn't just different, it's transcendent. So the next time you see that $15 bottle on the menu, remember, you're not just buying beer, you're buying liquid history, centuries of tradition, and flavors that exist nowhere else on Earth. What's your favorite Belgian beer? Drop it in the comments below. And if this video opened your eyes to the world of Belgian brewing, hit that subscribe button because we've got a whole series on craft beverages coming up. Cheers, and remember, life's too short for bad beer.